And guess what was next? Brian, you've been saying to me, well, now that Jamie Hayter, she's got something. Remember the last time who was it you wanted me to watch? You wanted me to watch the girl, the Japanese girl that jumps off the chair. What is her name?
It was Shida. It was Hikaru Shida versus Serena Deeb that started this. And they're about to have their rematch. They're about to have their third match that you promised to watch.
Yeah, well, it's because the last time I watched Shida sucked. And I watched it for you. And this time, okay, I'm going to watch Jamie Hayter, even though she's against Riho. Even these easy-to-please fans did not want to see this homely, chinless little midget back again. Have you noticed Riho? She not only looks scared and intimidated, she is chinless to the point where she looks like Popeye's girlfriend Olive Oil.
Why are you beating up on her like this?
Because this continues to be ridiculous for the past 2 years plus, simply because one of the EVPs has some type of fetishistic attraction to these outlaw Japanese girl wrestlers. I'm not talking about ones that have achieved great fame and prominence. I'm talking about the Rihos and the Emi Sakuras and the rest of them that look like schoolgirls that dress in lace, that work in fucking outlaw shows in Japan where they have matches in apartments and on basically fucking, I don't know, moving parade floats. I don't know. These are not real wrestlers. And they have been foisted upon us under the guise of being supposedly great Japanese women wrestlers. No, it's fucking Riho. She's 98 pounds. She looks like Olive Oil. And it's fucking ridiculous. And this is another thing. And then Sockface. Old excrement. Excalibur, in case anybody's confused. Actually, again, remember he did this about a year and a half ago and I called it out. I'm going to do it again. He said out loud on the television program, well, Riho is a 15-year pro. She started pro wrestling at the age of 9. Does anyone without their head stuck up outlaw mud show Japanese wrestling ass understand how stupid that sounds to a normal person? Just ignorant and stupid that would sound to a normal person or to anybody in the wrestling business until the last 10 years. Oh, she started as a pro when she was 9. So this makes the goddamn announcers look like complete idiots. And oh, by the way, it wasn't pro wrestling. It was Japanese parody wrestling, not a real wrestling promotion. What is it, DDT? Or they have panda bears that wrestle, and they do the sex toys and the dolls, and they have the 9-year-old girls. That's not professional wrestling. She was not a professional wrestler when she was 9 years old, and nobody else has been either. But it makes the show and everybody on it look like fucking idiots. So then this match, Olive Oil is basically Jamie Hayter's pretty good size and seems like, as you mentioned one time, she kind of works like a guy. But in this case, she was having to sell for, fly for, flip for this embarrassment that they will not admit has been a failure because Twinkle Toes is the only adult human being, male, female, or in between, in the United States of America that thinks that outlaw Japanese amateur girls would get over in this country. And that's why they've sacrificed every single one, practically, of their legitimate female talents, the ones that they've actually been able to entice, Britt Baker, Serena Deeb, Thunder Rosa. They've sacrificed them almost all at one time or another to this dreck. And it looks like shit. Did you see when Riho climb to the top rope, and there's Jamie Hayter standing on the floor, idly talking to Reba and Britt Baker and trying to ignore Riho climbing to the top. Then she looks up and sees Riho and sticks her arms out to catch Riho. And Riho dives off and drops like a turd in a punch bowl right in front of Jamie Hayter and hits the floor. But since it was the spot Jamie Hayter was supposed to catch her and power slam her or whatever, she just leans over and picks the little 98-pound fucking flea bag up and just runs her into the post. Because did I mention she only weighs 98 pounds? She could have caught her if she'd have got there. She couldn't get there, and all she had to do was drop. This was abysmal. This girl can't work. She's visually ridiculous. She has the personality of styrofoam. And this match went through a break. And after an hour or so, guess who won? Riho. And she's the number one contender again. And then she cried because she won. And then the heels got heat on her because it's a match on AEW and they have to. This match proved if one of the executive vice presidents had a fetish for sheep, Mary's Little Lamb would be the women's champion. Your thoughts on this match?
I was embarrassed by this match. I have been a lot more lenient than you, obviously, of Riho. I really like Jamie Hayter. She's got some size. She works like someone with some size. Even the way she just walks to the ring, there's like an attitude. She's a little different than everyone else there. With that said, I got madder and madder the more Riho kicked out of everything that would have killed her. Because every time she kicked out, you realized, oh yeah, it absolutely is Riho going over.
Yeah.
But not that there was any doubt, but
And you were slapped in the face with, oh yeah, this also is completely fucking fake.
It was just so stupid. She kicked out of shit that looked devastating. Fuck. Jamie Hayter looked good there. The catch on the floor, I don't know if Hayter I'm not justifying Hayter picking her up like she did catch her, but I don't know if Hayter missed her as much as Riho didn't jump far enough.
Well, no, Hayter didn't miss her at all. Because Hayter is standing in one position, looking up at a person on the top turnbuckle who dives off and plummets 90 degrees straight to the ground.
Hayter does another thing, and I saw this once before on the floor, and now I saw her do it in the ring, so it's definitely one of her things. When someone does a cross body onto her, she jumps. So that like when she catches the person, she's in the air. And it looks pretty good each time. That actually, guys, I've seen a lot of guys do that can get the timing on it. It does not only make the move look better and make your bump make more noise and get a bigger bump or a bigger bounce and etc., but it can actually, in some cases, if you do it right, cushion some of the impacts. Everybody's landing square, rather you're catching somebody your knees or oh shit, whatever the fuck. But in this case, none of these people needed to be doing any of this. And stuff. I get it. Look, it's not just Kenny. It's also Tony. Don't forget that. And they want to do Riho versus Britt Baker. And Britt Baker is one of the most over people in the whole company. That's one of the few things that justifies the women's division, is the existence of Britt Baker. And then Britt Baker has to get in the ring with this little tyke and shit the bed. I don't get it. They killed Hayter. She kicked out of everything Jamie Hayter did. It was ridiculous. They could have done this so differently. People have laughed at me for saying that there must be some kind of quid pro quo relationship with old Twinkle Toes as to why that they would feature this little girl with no talent, no look, no ability to promo, nothing to stink their show up. Explain that to me. Any other reason otherwise than Twinkle Toes is dipping his fucking pen in the company ink? I'm not going to say that, but obviously there are people within the company who love Japanese women's wrestling. The good and the bad. Find some professionals. Well, that's the problem. They like the good stuff and seemingly all the bad stuff. And again, the women's division, you have Britt Baker. I like Hayter, Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb. There's other people there who are marketable. Anna Jay and Ty Conte I like. But I'm sorry.
Oh, they were the ones that made the save on the other girl getting beat up in the back ball of the heels.
Yeah.
They came in with chairs and then didn't do anything with the chairs and stood in front of the people that had been committing the assault a foot away with chairs and then just turned around and ignored them.
And I don't need to see the fucking Penelope Fords and the Bunnies and the Nyla Roses anymore. There's a lot of people just eat up time and space, but I don't really think they're bringing much to the table, and they're certainly not enjoyable to watch. And I'll say this too. I know she has a lot of goodwill and the fans like her, but I'm yet to see what makes Ruby Soho so special. I saw that match she had the other day that was all right. Was it with Hayter? I forget who it was with. It was the one where she did the exaggerated, oh my God, she kicked out thing, which was ridiculous.
Yeah.
On promos, I'm not seeing it at all. It comes across like WWE promos.
Again, she had momentum. They loved the fact that Ruby Soho, under her new name, has been freed from the evil empire and has come there and can do what she wants to do and blah, blah, blah. They didn't have anybody lined up for her to work with to get her over ring-wise. That's where their lack of depth of quality experienced professionals in the women's division. They've got Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb that can work with anybody, but if they put everybody over, then that kills them off. Britt Baker is the top girl, and she doesn't need to be putting people over willy-nilly. And everybody else is so green. I didn't expect Ruby Soho to be the best women's wrestler in the world, or she would have shown it by now. But if you've got somebody that the people are happy to see and that they like and that has charisma and gets over because of their look, find people to work with them to make them look better than they are. They have not produced those people for poor old Ruby Soho. She's been Ruby So-So. But, Brian, I'll tell you one thing that is never so-so and is never going to let you down and is always going to tell you exactly what you want to hear. You know what that is?
My maid?
No.
Oh.
In addition to her. The Raycon wireless earbuds. They're not so-so. They're fantastic. And they will never tell you anything you don't want to hear because you're the one programming the soundtrack of your life on the Raycon wireless earbuds. It's the holiday time, and you've seen about 1,000 suggestions on the commercials. Gift for your mother, gift for a friend, gift for your neighbor's dog. I actually spend a lot of time thinking about the dogs in the neighborhood, but you can study all those gift guides. You can shop at millions of different places. It will never reap you the rewards that you will have if you just start and end your shopping at Raycon and get everybody a gift that they'll use, the wireless earbuds, whether they want to listen to podcast audio, or they want to listen to music, whether they're doing a workout or they're working and they want to listen to something to keep them from going crazy while they work. And they can't even tell what you're listening to because these things, they don't have the wires hanging out and the antenna. Like you look like a Martian. You stick these things in your ears, you can't tell hardly that you've got them in from a ways away. You can kayfabe what you're listening to. Why, sometimes you might even forget you've got them in at all and leave them there. And then they work their way into your brain and they just program songs in your brain. And when you think about something, then it automatically starts playing. That's actually, you have to work on these for a while. It takes probably 6 to 8 months of wearing them constantly before you can just think of things and it melds to your brain. However, if you just want to stick them in and take them out later on, they work just fine. You get 3 new sound profiles to make sure everything you're listening to sounds at its best. They got the pure mode, the balanced mode, and the bass mode. They're available in 5 stylish colors. There's white, there's black, there's red, there's blue, and there's effluvia. So you can pick a perfect color for everybody on your list. They may have other colors also, I'm not sure. I think effluvia might be sold out. Anyway, folks, the holidays are coming up faster than you think. So now is the time. Avoid the last-minute shipping scramble. Right now, my listeners will get 15% off site-wide. Anything at buyraycon.com. That's BUYRAYCON, buyraycon.com/JCE, and then use the code HOLIDAY. This is different than what we've been talking about beforehand. Caught us unawares. Buyraycon.com/JCE so they know you're with us, and use the code HOLIDAY. HOLIDAY, and get 15% off your entire Raycon order. You buy 15 pairs of these things, you're still getting 15% off. BuyRaycon.com/JCE and use the code HOLIDAY, and you'll be whistling Dixie out the muffler of your ass with these things in. Your music will fill your head. Listen to Christmas carols. Listen to the Grinch. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Whatever you want to listen to with the Raycon wireless earbuds.